That night, heaven and earth were silent, as if holding their breath. The radiant moonlight spread gold across the tiled roofs of the royal palace.
In a wondrous dream, Queen Maya beheld a six-tusked white elephant descending softly from the heavens, gentle and pure, entering her side. A brilliant omen shone forth, foretelling the coming of a great being into this world.
On the day of birth, according to ancient custom, the queen returned to her mother's palace and rested in a lumbinite garden.
Suddenly, the Ashoka tree burst into bloom. Thousands of fiery red blossoms blazing like flames, their fragrance spreading far and wide. As she reached for a branch, the child emerged from her right side, and heaven and earth trembled.
Thunder rolled though no storm broke, celestial drums resounded though no hands struck them.
Birds and beasts of the forest fell silent, their eyes fixed upon the radiant infant.
The newborn set his feet upon the earth, walking 7 steps.
With each step, a lotus blossomed, facing the 4 directions. His eyes shone like stars. His voice went out like a bronze bell. In heaven above and on earth below, I alone honor. In this life,
The prince
I have
will
come
be
for the joy
either
of
a
peace of all
universal
beings.
monarch
The royal
Or
court was
an
astonished.
enlightened
The people trembled in awe. The father king rejoiced, yet his heart was heavy, for such omens were no ordinary sign.
A sage named Asita came to behold the child, bowed deeply, and wept. This prince shall either be a
This
universal
is
monarch,
no
ruler of the
ordinary
four seas,
child.
or renounce his throne to become
He
the
will be a
enlightened one,
great leader,
guiding humankind across
but
the
he will
ocean of
not
suffering.
rule a
Hearing this
kingdom.
prophecy, the king felt as though a fire burned within his heart.
At once, he commanded the building of high walls and mighty towers, palaces for each season, gardens on every side, seeking to shield the child from the shadow of suffering.
He wished to keep his son within a circle of gold and jade, hoping to turn aside the will of destiny.
But heaven and earth have their way, mountains and rivers their path. No matter how high the walls, they cannot hold the steps of faith.
The infant who first cried beneath the blooming Ashoka tree was destined to stir and transform the hearts of all humankind. After the wondrous omen and the prophecy of sage Asita, King Sabodala left sleepless upon his throne. He raised high walls, built great halls, and placed his son within 3 palaces, one for spring, one for summer, one for winter. Around the prince were musicians, dancers, delicacies, and gardens blooming in every season. Prince Siddhartha grew up in a circle of gold and jade, where drums and lutes drowned out the sounds beyond the city walls. Each morning maidens drew blossoms along his path. Each night banquets and music filled the halls.
Yet within the prince's eyes dwelt a sorrow that no revelry could conceal.
One day, as he ventured beyond the palace with his chariot, he beheld strange sights. An old man trembling, hair white, back bent, body withered,
A sick man, writhing with pain, breath faltering.
a lifeless corpse borne by mourners, the air pierced by wailing. Each vision pierced Siddhartha's heart like a blade. He stood shaken. Is it true that all beings must endure aging, sickness, and death? Each vision pierced Siddhartha's heart like a blade. He stood shaken. Is it true that all beings must endure aging, sickness, and death? The chariot moved on, and before him appeared a wandering ascetic in horse robes, Gala in hand, eyes serene amidst the dust of the road. Siddhartha gazed upon him, and within arose a spark of hope. If there is a path beyond suffering, surely it lies here. That night, within the Golden Palace, Siddhartha tasked Yasu's thought. Sages, maidens, and feast all turned to emptiness. He held his infant son, Dracula, in his arms, tears falling upon the child's cheek, torn between duty and destiny. Yasudhara, his devoted wife, sensed the coming parting, yet only looked upon him with eyes overflowing with love. The throne gleamed like a mountain of gold, but Siddhartha's feet turned toward another path leading beyond the palace gates into the night, in search of the answer to human suffering. That night, the city of Kapilavastu lay shrouded in silence. Silver moonlight stretched across the towering walls, glinting of the spears of the sentries who dozed at their posts. Within the palace, the echoes of music still lingered. Yet Prince Siddhartha no longer heard them. His heart surged like the sea before a storm. He entered his chamber, beholding his wife Yasudhara and infant son Dracula in peaceful slumber. Yasudhara's arms cradled the child, her face serene, though her eyelids quivered as if sensing the shadow of parting. Siddhartha bent low, and tears fell upon the hair of his son. His lips trembled to speak the boy's name, but the words choked within his throat. In that moment, the father, the husband, and the son within him contended fiercely, yet above them all rose the cry of humankind, the voices of suffering beyond the palace walls, summoning Siddhartha to his greater destiny. He turned away, donning the coarse robe he had prepared. Chana, his loyal attendant, brought forth the noble steed Kanthika. Their three shadows moved together in moonlit silence, resolute and unyielding. At the city gate, the guards slept soundly. Siddhartha looked back at the palace one final time. The lamps still glowed, the curtains still hung, but all had become distant, belonging no longer to him. His eyes gleamed with unshakable resolve. Chana fell to his knees, clasping the prince's feet, voice breaking. Please, my lord, do not leave. The throne awaits you to be a righteous king. Siddhartha placed a firm hand on his shoulder, his voice deep yet gentle. Chana, return. Care for my father and mother, for Yasudhara and Dracula. Tonight, I belong to another path. Then he cut away his hair, cast off his jewels, and placed them in Chana's hands. Kanthika let out a long, mournful neigh, a cry that tore through the night. Siddhartha turned and strode forward into the unseen horizon. Behind him, the gates of Kapilavastu closed. Before him stretched a long, endless road, bathed in cold moonlight, leading to a destiny unknown. From that moment, history began to record the greatest journey of a man, quest for truth, to bring liberation to all beings. Siddhartha left the palace, clothed in coarse robes, and entered the deep forest in search of truth. The path stretched endlessly, the forest winds howled, and beasts roared in night. Yet his spirit stood firm as a mountain, his eyes fixed on the horizon.
This is the path of desire's end.
He sought out great teachers, learning meditation,
breath control, and disciplines to subdue desire. Yet with every practice, every trial, suffering remained.
The truth seemed always beyond reach.
Whispering. What's he
Then he
doing?
resolved to practice severe austerities.
Look at
For
him!
6 long years he fasted, until only skin and bones remained. A mere priest swayed his frail body. His breath was as thin as smoke. Villagers who saw him whispered he was mad, but the fire in his eyes still burned, unwavering.
Is this the path?
One day, he
end
meditated
suffering?
beneath a tree, stomach twisted with hunger, heart racing irregularly. Children herding cattle passed by and mocked him, yet he remained unmoved, like a stone statue. Within his mind, a question echoed. Is this the path to end suffering,
to
or
end
merely another
suffering?
extreme? One morning, exhausted, he collapsed on the banks of the nearby river. Death seemed near when a cowherd girl, Sujata, offered him a bowl of milk rice. Siddhartha gazed upon
Please
the pure
accept
white
this
porridge,
rice milk.
simple and fragrant. He hesitated.
Please
then slowly
accept
raised
this
it to his
rice
lips.
milk.
Warmth spread through his body, life returned. His mind grew clear. In that moment, he realized extreme austerity is not a path to truth, just like indulgence. It is only another extreme. Between the two lies the middle way, the path to liberation. The morning sun blazed through the forest canopy. Upon his gaunt face appeared a gentle smile. A new turning point had dawned on the road to enlightenment. After receiving a bowl of milk rice from Sujata, Siddhartha was restored in both body and spirit. He bathed in the waters of the nearby river, his body feeling light as if the 6 years of austerity had been washed away. The morning light shone upon his gaunt yet resolute face. He resolved to meditate beneath
Though
the berry
blood
tree at the
dries,
village of Uruvala.
I will
The
not
earth was
leave
soft, the
until
grass gentle,
enlightenment.
the sky calm.
Sitting cross-legged, Siddhartha uttered his vow.
I
Though my
will
blood
not
should
move
dry,
from this
my
spot
skin wither, and
until I
my body
attain
perish.
full
I shall not rise from
enlightenment.
this seat until enlightenment is attained. Night descended.
The evil Marah, knowing one was about to shatter the cycle of birth and death, raised his army and stormed forth. Heaven and earth shook. Thunder crashed. Lightning split the skies.
The demon host appeared grotesque, eyes blazing like fire, weapons flashing as they roared across the heavens.
Marah sent forth his daughters to tempt him.
Their beauty glowed, their forms danced gracefully, their smiles radiant as the new moon. Yet Siddhartha remained unmoved, eyes half closed, his mind as still as an autumn lake. Enraged, Marah lifted his great mace to strike. The demon fought screaming, the skies churned. At that moment, Siddhartha gently touched the earth, calling it to witness his vow. The ground trembled, 1,000 lotuses blew, radiant light burst forth and scattered the darkness. The demon army fled, and Marah withdrew in defeat. Adored As the morning star rose in the eastern sky, Siddhartha's mind awakened in full clarity. He beheld the wheel of birth and death, saw clearly ignorance, suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path to liberation. Siddhartha had now become the Buddha Shakyamuni, the enlightened one. From him shone a light that illuminated the 1,000 worlds.
Beings still wander
After
in
attaining
suffering.
enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree,
They must be
the
shown
radiance
the
of
way.
awakening spread across the 1,000 worlds.
Yet the Buddha did not keep this realization for
I
himself.
will
From within
see
arose boundless
the
compassion.
truth.
Beings still wander in suffering. They must be shown the way. He thought of the 5 ascetics who once practiced austerities alongside him, but remained lost in delusion. With tranquil steps, the Buddha walked toward Benares, where the cool, shaded groves of
He
the deer
said
park
he would
awaited.
return.
The 5 ascetics saw him from afar and mocked among themselves. Here comes
He
the
has
one who
changed.
abandoned austerity, now full of vigor, no longer
Is this
pure.
truly the
But
path?
as he drew near, his gait was majestic, his eyes shining like stars, his body radiant with light.
Instinctively, they rose, their hands folded in reverence.
Beneath the trees of the deer park, the Buddha delivered his first sermon.
His voice was deep and resonant, like a bell sounding through the sky. There are 2 extremes: indulgence in sensual pleasures and self-mortification.
Both led not to
There are
awakening.
2
The
extremes.
true path is the middle way, avoiding extremes, leading to wisdom and liberation.
There are 2 extremes.
He spoke of the 4 noble truths:
The middle way
suffering,
leads
cause,
to liberation.
cessation, path. Suffering dukkha. Life is suffering birth.
This is the
aging,
middle way,
sickness,
which avoids
death,
both
cause samudaya.
extremes.
Craving and ignorance
Now,
are the roots
I will
of suffering.
expound upon the
Cessation
4
nirvana.
noble truths.
Suffering can be ended.
Nice.
Path magga. The way to end
There is
suffering
suffering
is
in
the noble
life.
Eightfold Path.
The cause of
The
suffering
5
is
ascetics
attachment.
listened as
There is an
wanderers in
end to
darkness
suffering.
seeing a lamp. Their hearts opened. Doubt
So it
vanished.
is,
They bowed
Ananda,
before the Buddha
that
and
whatever
requested to
is
follow him,
subject to
becoming the
origination
first monastic
is
disciples in
subject to
history.
cessation.
From that moment, the wheel of Dharma began to turn, rolling through the world, opening the way for all beings to cross the ocean of suffering.
The Buddha has awakened. He has achieved enlightenment.
News of the Buddha's enlightenment and teachings spread across India.
Do you
His
hear the
words on the
whispers
middle
from the
way
village?
and the 4 noble truths stirred
News
countless
travels
hearts,
fast,
drawing
even
thousands
to
to seek
these
refuge.
royal halls.
The news soon reached Kapilavastu to King Suddhodana, his father. The king heard that his son, once Prince Siddhartha, had
Go,
abandoned the throne,
tell him to
donned
prepare.
the saffron robe, and now walked among the people with an alms bowl.
His heart swelled with both pride and sorrow. He sent
Invite
messengers to
him to
invite the Buddha
return.
to return to the royal palace. One morning, in the humble guise of a monk, the Buddha, together with the Sangha, entered Kapilavastu with alms bowls in hand. The people along the road whispered, bowing as they greeted him.
From him radiated a light that moved all who beheld it.
King Suddhodana stepped forward, tears welling in his eyes.
The proud king bowed his head before the enlightened one, his heart trembling with pride that his son had become a holy being whose light
ใน
shone
ซึ่ง
upon
นี้
the
ไม่
world.
เท่าสีนะฮะ
Queen
ใน
Mahapajapati
ความจริง
Gautami
ภาย
and
ใต้ที่
Princess
คนนิสัย
Siddhartha came forth,
ทรงมีความสุข
bringing young Rahula, now grown, to meet the Buddha. Rahula gazed up at his father, his eyes shining with pride. In that moment, familial love and the Dharma became one.
Father,
Rahula spoke to
please
his
grant
father.
me my
Please
inheritance.
allow me to follow the path. The Buddha smiled gently
Please
and
let
nodded.
me follow
Rahula
the
thus
path.
became the first novice monk, the Sangha.
May your
From that
request
day,
be granted.
not only adults, but even the young received the seeds of liberation. The light of the Dharma was no longer confined to forest hermitages, but spread into the royal palace and throughout the world. After returning to his homeland, the Buddha did not remain in the palace, nor did he accept wealth or luxury. He continued on his long journey, together with the Sangha, traveling across the cities and lands of India.
Along the dusty roads, the image of saffron-robed monks carrying their alms bowls, walking with solemn dignity, became a living symbol of wisdom and compassion. People on both sides of the road respectfully offered rice, fruit and water, their eyes shining with reverence.
The Buddha taught in Rajagaha, in Savatthi, in Vesali, wherever he went. The Dharma resounded. He spoke of impermanence, of dependent origination, of compassion and equanimity.
Countless hearts were awakened.
The path of
Countless
virtue
lives
begins with humble devotion.
When the ascetics of other sects came to debate, his words were like thunder, yet also like a cool stream. Their complex arguments
Peace
dissolved before
and
his
tranquility
wisdom.
for all.
Enemies turned into friends, suspicion melted into respect. The radiance of the Dharma spread farther and wider.
The Sangha grew ever stronger.
Hundreds, then thousands sought refuge, from kings to common folk, from scholars to farmers. At night, beneath the moonlight, the Buddha and the Sangha sat in meditation deep in the forest. The chirping of insects and the whisper of the wind through the trees merged into boundless stillness. In his gaze, there were no borders, only an ocean of compassion embracing all beings.
That night, the Dharma did not remain within one nation or clan. It became a torch for generations to come, guiding humanity across suffering toward peace and liberation.